All right, we're going to see how this goes with my bad sinus infection and bad cough. So, this is about as close as you're going to get to a Rossman-style rant from me. I haven't looked to see if Lewis has anything up on this. He may not. But Best Buy has announced that they will stop selling physical movies and video games in store starting next year. Now, one, that angers me because it's stupid. Two, Best Buy has not been relevant in a long time and continues to fall further and further. Remember when Best Buy was a pioneer of retail by taking out CDs, and then K-pop happened and Target made a crap ton of money on K-pop, and now Walmart has just kind of thrown K-pop into their stores, whereas Target is still kind of the original that curates it and has actually knows what it is, whereas Walmart's just like, here it is, buy it. Best Buy missed all of that. Best Buy has no K-pop, no CDs. They have stayed firm and true to the lunacy. And at this point, I don't think it can be denied that it's not that they think people don't want it. It's that they are on the side of where physical media is bad for business. Physical media is good for consumers. It is bad for business. Because when you release something on physical media, say Digimon Dawn, which was out years ago, on physical media, you can't control where this goes. You can't control what happens. If this game were to get banned or fall out of public eye, you can't make it impossible for people to get their hands on it. But when you have streaming or digital, you absolutely can. And the precedent has been set that if you buy something on a digital service, and for whatever reason that is removed from the service, they do have the right to remove it from your purchases and not allow you to watch it. Some sites will give you a credit for something else. Others, it's just gone. With iTunes, I bought a copy of Still Cruisin' by the Beach Boys several years ago because it is a rare CD. It's not common to find. Low print run. There were 4 songs that were collaborations with other bands. Those are gone. I cannot get them from my iTunes library. They are gone. The only ones that are accessible to download, play are the ones written by the Beach Boys. This is one of the reasons that I don't do Apple Music, because they're able to control the copyrights to the letter, and if you have content that you buy, you don't even have any ownership of it. At least with the disc, you can put that disc in a player and you can still watch what you purchased. And a lot of the younger generation have been convinced to believe that physical media is stupid. There's no reason to have it because you play something and then you never touch it again. But not everybody is like that. I don't want to have to watch something one time. Trying to see what's up here that's an example. I also tend to forget a lot of times what I have too. Grown-ups. I can just throw Grown-ups off the DVD and in. I also have multiple TVs, multiple players. I have kids. I have the arcade. And the disc, I can just put it in any of the DVD players or any of the Blu-ray players. Now at this point, to me, Blu-ray is kind of a dying format because it is more copy controllable. It is also harder to resurface. I've kind of stopped buying Blu-rays and only buy DVDs, partially because if the DVD gets scratched, it can more often than be resurfaced. If a Blu-ray gets scratched, which is difficult, it's almost never resurfaceable because of how thin that bottom layer is. As much as I enjoy Blu-ray looking better, I generally have been saving the money and going with the DVD route. Other stuff. Let's see, I have almost every season of Power Rangers. There's only a few that I'm missing in physical. I have all Red Dwarf, all Red Green. Red Green's not available on any of the streaming services. They have them uploaded to their YouTube channel. That could disappear at any time because it's YouTube. MASH, Looney Tunes, Coach, Flintstones, Johnny Test. There's a lot of stuff And yes, I understand the convenience of just hitting play on your Apple TV and letting it go. But I also have had issues where I am playing the SpongeBob season that I purchased, and it'll come up saying your free preview has ended, you have to pay Paramount Plus, and then I back out, go back through my purchases, reload it, and it continues to play because I actually purchased it. There's a lot of stuff that is still not really accessible. And then other stuff like SpongeBob that runs about 25 to 29 per season purchased because they want you to subscribe to Paramount Plus. And Paramount Plus, it's not very difficult to dig up reviews on some of the stuff that they're doing and why they're not something to support. But for $20 at Walmart, for $40 total over the 2 sets, I got the first 8 seasons of SpongeBob, which is why I bought season 9 digital. Those I have forever. Nobody can take them away. And because the thing with having physical, because we're getting into a point in society where people are wanting stuff banned. If they don't like it, they want it gone. The other problem is that corporations are saying, hey, we see a copyright in that, and until you're going to pay us X number of dollars, you can't show this, blah, blah, blah. It's like why Earthbound couldn't be put on the Wii Virtual Console. Because when Earthbound was made for the Super Nintendo, the Red Cross wasn't enforcing copyrights on the red cross over the white box for a first aid kit. However, by 2006, when Nintendo wanted to do the Wii Virtual Console, the Red Cross said, no, you can't re-release this game because this violates our copyright. So Nintendo had to go in, negotiate with them as to what was acceptable, and then release the game with a different logo on all the health kits. With digital, that could have just been outright pulled until that went through. And even with physical, you don't own the media, you own a license, but you own a physical license as opposed to a digital license that can be revoked at any time. Now, physical video games, it's rare. I think I've bought a handful of video games from Best Buy in the last year. The thing that sucks about Best Buy not selling physical video games is that they are the national distributor of limited run games. And if you're familiar with limited run, you know how annoying and frustrating they are buying directly from them. But buying through Best Buy, that's different. Because if it's in stock, you can get it right away. If it's a pre-order, Best Buy is more likely to let you cancel or adjust. And that's where I've been getting most of my limited run stuff that I've wanted to pick up, is just waiting until they get it at Best Buy and going through there. Now, the question that this leaves me with is, what exactly is the point in Best Buy even being in business at this point? Because around here, we have 4 to 5 fairly reputable computer service outlets. Those also keep closing too. But they can't be making that much off of Geek Squad. And basically at this point, Geek Squad and most of the repair places in town really are just taking advantage of senior citizens who don't know how to fix their computers of basic stuff. I actually was in one a few years ago, and they billed somebody $200 to clean spyware off their laptop. I'm not joking. So, but they can't be making that much off of Geek Squad. They can't be making that much off of TVs. Target and Walmart sell more of the price level of TV that a lot of people, especially in this area, want. Not a lot of people are buying OLEDs. If they're buying OLEDs, they're probably getting them from Best Buy. But Amazon has pretty decent prices, too, on a lot of that stuff. A lot of times better than Best Buy. Now, I did get my Insignia from there, but that's by no means a high-end TV. Even though it was absolutely worth the price, and I have zero complaints about it so far. Still, that's not what's going to keep them in business. Magnolia Home Theater, in the Midwest, that kind of stuff is not keeping them in business. What do they have? Like, they have appliances, but compared to Lowe's, Home Depot, and Menards, it's a joke. Their appliance section is a joke in comparison. there's no way they're being kept in business just by people who don't do any comparison shopping. There's no way that a national chain the size of Best Buy can be supported just by people who go there because it's Best Buy and don't even look at what competitors have to offer. Computer stuff. We have a Micro Center in Indy. There's no reason to go to Best Buy for something for a computer unless it's an emergency. And even then, when I was looking for an AIO for my last build, they didn't have anything. And the one piece that they had was 3 times the price of Amazon to just wait 2 days. It's not worth it. So I don't know if they take away physical games and movies, I don't know what they have left that they're even making money on other than mobile. But the Best Buy Mobile in town closed 6 years ago? 7 years ago? We had a Best Buy Mobile in the mall. It failed because they weren't doing enough business. What are they making money on? I have very little reason to go in there unless they have something, unless they're like the only place in town that has something in stock that I don't want to wait for, and it's rare. And even then, I couldn't tell you the last time. It's been probably 3 or 4 years since I've actually shopped in Best Buy. Anytime that I have bought something from them, I've done an online order and then picked it up at the front and never actually set foot back in the store because there's just no reason to. So I have very little sympathy for them. It is sad to see the narrative continue to be pushed by people who just want control of the media. But, you know, that's why there's enough people with these huge archives of physical media that this stuff's never going to die. It's just going to be what happens with the new stuff of how we're able to get it, and maybe that'll bring theaters back into popularity. If you can't buy it on physical, then, you know, maybe you have no choice but to go back to theaters. The other thing I find interesting is what this is going to mean for Redbox, because I have seen this firsthand where Redbox employees have gone into Target, Walmart, or Best Buy, bought all of the Blu-ray DVD combos, like, well, I need 50. Well, for what? Well, stock Redbox. Well, if they can't get those, is Redbox going to be able to keep going? And if you're not aware, Redbox sells their movies. $5.99 for a DVD or a Blu-ray. You don't get a case with it. You just get the Redbox disc case. But you can get Fast X for $5.99. So if you want the case and everything is mostly what you're paying for at this point, because Redbox has a lot of stuff, decently new movies that are really pretty cheap. How's that going to go? So I don't count this as a huge loss for the physical media war. And I'm not super ticked at the decision as much as I just don't understand where Best Buy is staying in business at this point. Now, until Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo come out and say we're done, then that's a whole nother story. As I bought the new Forza on Steam, bought the premium edition on Steam because I've got the widescreen monitor and I like playing it on that. And then I'm using Game Pass to play the Xbox version. I'm kind of ticked because none of my premium content has rolled over to Xbox, even though I have my gamer tag signed in on both. But here's a very key reason of why I, A, stay physical, and B, have an 8 terabyte hard drive, which I actually just saw a thread not that long ago where people were attacking somebody over having an external hard drive on their PS5, calling it stupid. Xbox and PlayStation both download at about 400 to 500 megabit consistently. I have a gigabit connection. Downloading Transferring from the internal storage to my hard drive back and forth both ways I get a solid gigabit. So it's twice as fast for me to transfer from my external hard drive back over to the console to play the game than it is to delete and re-download. I have 8 terabyte hard drive on both my Xbox and PlayStation that I paid $60 for on clearance. That's way more than an SSD upgrade for either console. And at the gigabit speeds, it really does not take that long to transfer everything back and forth. It just makes way more sense. But my point being, Steam consistently gives me a 1 gigabit download. I can download at the full capacity of my connection, twice as fast as if I do it through games through Windows. Also trying to download, I actually had to wipe my Windows 10 computer and completely reinstall it because the Windows Store kept throwing an error that it couldn't even tell me what it was, and it would not let me install my previously purchased games. So that's why I went with Steam, because I know Steam will have it there for me. Also, if I get a Steam Deck, it'll be there. But that's more reason why I'm not interested in going exclusively digital. Plus, licensing with digital gets funky. So if I have 2 Xboxes or 2 PS5s, I have to have the same profile in at the same time, and there's licensing and online issues and a whole bunch of crap, whereas you just throw the disc in whichever one you want to play, and it's good to go. But I digress. Rant over. Thanks for listening. Peace. Or turmoil, whichever you prefer.